Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we have got the final concrete has been poured here at the new production greenhouses. Do we have B-roll of that happening? No, we do not. Just keeping it real here, folks. Today was a very full morning and we were off doing some other things. And once you've seen some concrete being, dumped out of a truck, it kind of is all the same. So we're just going to come up here and show you the final product, all of the concrete here at the new production houses. Jerry's going to put the drone up at the end of the video so you can get like a bird's eye view, because it is quite hard to get a feel for the whole space down here on ground level. So he's going to throw the drone up, and stay tuned, because after we do this and show you all of this, we're going to head up to the greenhouse because I want to show you some of the really great shrubs that we are offering online and that we are sending out to you sweet folks, because there's some fun things that we have online that we don't have here at the nursery, just because of simply growing zones and those kinds of things. So lots of fun things ahead for you today. Here we are. As a general recap, we have this new production greenhouse that is a 90-foot by 96-foot production house. And what we're going to do in this space is we are going to be growing beautiful perennials and annuals for you sweet folks, our customers, whether you are coming here to the nursery to purchase them or you're going to be purchasing them online. Creekside is growing. Our customer base is growing, our reach is growing, and so with that we have to be able to grow the business so that we can grow these plants for you. So that is what this space is for. I had somebody just ask yesterday on a video about is this for production? Like, what is this for? Are customers going to be able to come up here and shop? No, this is production. This whole area up here is production only. The retail area will still be down at the garden center, and so this is how you get to see the production area, through these videos, not for public viewing as far as in person. So yesterday they poured this greenhouse. So basically this is a 3-bay gutter connected greenhouse. Each greenhouse space, bay, whatever you want to call it, is 30 feet wide. We have 3 of them, and 30 times 3 is 90, 96 feet long. We only did a solid pour on this one because this is the one that's going to house the potting machine. And remember, the potting machine that we got back in February, I believe it was, it is movable, and so we can just hook it up to a tractor or a machine, and it has wheels on it, and we can put it wherever we want to. So it will be able to come in here, we'll be able to work, pot up tons and tons of plants that will fill in this space. We'll start with the other 2 bays that are open, and then this will be also a space to grow plants as well. But it just makes more sense to have this as a full concrete pad because we are bringing in and out the potting machine and different kind of equipment. There is a nice gentle slope to this one. It sheds from left to right from the center. I showed you in that video how we have down the center, there is a metal expansion joint going down the center, and then from here it just sheds back and forth to each side. And at the end of the video I showed you where the fellow was cutting expansion joints across the greenhouse from pole to pole. These poles are 12 feet apart and they are 12 feet tall. 12 feet tall. And so what happened this morning, I think the truck was here like at 7:20 this morning. We got all of the sidewalks poured. Now you will notice obviously that there is still a lot of red clay here in the middle of these areas. That is because we're going to leave this natural in a way. What I'm saying is it's not going to be concrete. We're going to obviously not be planting and having trays right here on the red clay, but we will do a system of gravel. So we will have gravel down here. I think we'll have landscape fabric first. We'll get into all that. All that's to be determined. This is just how we roll around here. But there will be some sort of system of gravel, and then we will place the plants directly onto the gravel in these areas. So you may be going, well, Jenny, why do you have 5-foot sidewalks all around? Like, why? Like, that's good, valuable garden, like growing space. Why in the world do you have that? Well, in a production greenhouse, when you're moving plants in and out, we have like metal carts, and so you load the plants up on carts or whatever it is that you're going to be using, and those carts don't really roll very well on gravel. So that way we can easily get in here, bring the carts here, unload or load, whichever way it may be, and then move them all the way around. So we do have the greenhouse, all three of them are connected. So we have a nice, obviously I'm not going to walk on this because they just poured it today. I probably could because they cut the lines, but we're not going to do that. So across the front, of course, within the greenhouse, there is concrete all the way across the front, and then coming down the center of each of the other two bays. So it just is dead center all the way down to here. And if you will remember, I showed you, because obviously we don't have plumbing in yet, we don't have electrical in yet. I mean, the greenhouse doesn't have a roof. None of that is in place yet. So what Jerry, I don't know if it was Jerry and Andrew, but what they did, and it's really hard to see, but just trust me, it's there. So on each bay, so the total of 4, you'll see these little divots right here. And in this divot, there is a very large, slick PVC pipe that goes from here all the way to the other side of the sidewalk. I don't know, 2 or 3 feet extends past it. Just going to use that as conduit. That way we can run electrical through here. We could run water if we needed to, gas for the heaters, whatever it may be that we need, we can run that through. I showed it to you in one of the videos where he put the bright yellow duct tape on the end, so no soil is getting in there. They're all in place. When it's time that we need them, we can just kind of dig out the loose dirt and have access easily to the outside of the greenhouses. And so that's what these bays are going to be. So we're going to come over here. We're doing a lot of walking. You get your steps in with this greenhouse. The next thing that's going to happen while we're walking over here is Roger called Jerry today, and he and the guys will be back. They're coming back into town Monday night, and they will start erecting and putting the rest up on Tuesday morning. They are down in South Georgia. I think it's a, what'd you say, like a 6-7 hour drive, something like that for them. And so they've been at another job, and now they'll be coming back to us, but they will be here late Monday night on site on Tuesday. Now, you'll notice on this side of the greenhouse, right, so this will be that far wall, this will be the end. All 4 sides of the greenhouse will have roll-up sides, just like the other 2 production houses, how they have them on the sides. And the retail greenhouse is all controlled by a thermostat. So we will set whatever temperature we want the greenhouse to stay at, and those sides will automatically raise and lower to cool down the greenhouse. It is wonderful, but we'll not only do it on the sides, but it will also be on the front as well. So here, there is no concrete. If you remember the construction on the other greenhouse, at the bottom, we're gonna have, it's called a hat base, like a hat base that is a metal, I don't know, what do you call it, tube? It's not even a tube, it's a piece of metal that runs along the base of the greenhouse, so when that curtain comes down, it rests right on there. And so this will be gravel as well. Jerry and I were just talking. We think what we're going to do is actually turn this into a road. This is a nice, a good 10 feet out right here, so get all this nice and packed. I mean, it already is packed down, but really get it all kind of graded right here and turn this into a road. So that way, whether it is us with our machines, and maybe we have the trailers, or it's a Bobcat, or if it's a delivery truck or UPS truck, whoever it may be, this will be an access road, because back here in the back, so you've got the gravel up here, and then comes around, nice road right here, and then that way you turn and go up the side of the greenhouse. Obviously, with that, we have a water spigot that is here. So all we'll have to do is, Jerry will do, is dig that up and then move it and probably like put it behind the greenhouse because the water line runs this whole length right here. In fact, that's what all of the different stakes are for, is to remind people that there is a water line in here. So that'll just get moved, and then a nice gravel road right here that's easily accessible by whomever needs to use it. So that is kind of where we are right now. The guys they were in here at, what time was it? Like, they were here, it was still dark, dark 30. It was 6:15, 6:30, something like that they were here, and then they were gone early afternoon. So they got the whole thing poured, everything taken care of, all the forms down, in and out, lickety split. So it is very nice to have all of that done. Retaining wall, this is where you can see it really nice and easily, is there is a French drain on this side. You can see right here where that pipe is still sticking out, and then there is one going to be on the other side of the retaining wall as well. That's what this pipe is. It's still connected. Jerry and Andrew got the one already installed here. So we have retaining French drains on both sides of the wall, taken care of, nice and easy. So there you go. All right, now let's go up here to the greenhouse and talk about some plants, because we have got some fun ones. We've got Rosie here. So y'all see Rosie sometimes in videos. Rosie is my parents' Doberman, and she's a sweet little girl. But so she does enjoy her Aunt Jenny, yes, very much so. But it's funny. She can be a little snippy with some strangers, but she's super sweet to her people, like most good dogs are. Right. All right. So we've had a lot of questions about shipping, plant size, what does the plant look like, how big is the pot, what are you shipping to us, all of those kind of great things. Well, so here we are in production number 1 and show you what we have. So we have them all kind of laid out because, of course, we're doing just shrubs right now. We're going to introduce and begin offering the perennials and annuals come springtime. So for now, we have the shrubs, and we have Proven Winner shrubs. This is a quart size container. So a lot of people have asked, you know, are you going to ship 1 gallons, 3 gallons, 5 gallons? No, we are sticking with the quart size containers because it just makes the most sense. It makes the most sense as far as shipping them, and trying to ship a 5 gallon plant. Y'all think shipping is expensive on a quart. Imagine what it is on a 5 gallon. Oh, I can't imagine. So this is a quart size. If you're used to a Proven Winners annual size plant, that is what we call a grande. It is just a smidge smaller than this, vice versa. This is just a little bit larger than a grande annual from Proven Winners. So this is what you're gonna expect when you get it. So we're just gonna go through some of the fun things that we offer. Like we have the winterberry holly. So this is berry poppins, and berry poppins has gorgeous red fruit in the wintertime. It's nice and compact. It is great for small spaces, but you need to have its companion, because if you want to have that berry set. Now this is going to be hardy in zones 3 to 9. I currently do not have any of these in my garden, so as long as these haven't sold, I might have to ask if I can take 1 or 2 out of inventory and add them. Jerry's shaking his head. No, but I'm shaking my head. Yes, if they're not sold, right? I mean, we got to put them to use, but really fun. So then during the, this is going to be a full to part sun plant. It is native. I know a lot of y'all love that. Gorgeous bright red berries in the wintertime that, of course, your wildlife is going to love, and you can use it in cutting gardens. It is good for a rain garden, so it likes to be a little bit moist. It is only going to be 3 to 4 feet tall, so that is definitely something that you want to have. Now, like we talked about, if you're going to have berry poppins, then you need to have the Mr. Poppins, and Mr. Poppins is going to be that male counterpart, and you need to have within 50 feet of the female plant. So there you go. So this is one that will pollinate all the female plants to give you that beautiful, those red berries. Now, my southern folks, sweet talkers, sweet talker viburnums. Oh, I lost a tag on that one. Let me get you a tag here. This is the plant that is a beautiful evergreen viburnum, because you have a lot of viburnums that are deciduous. Well, sweet talker is an evergreen, and it gets nice size to it. It is definitely for your southern gardens because it's hardy in zones 7 to 8, so it's a little bit limited. But if you are in those zones, you need to have this plant. I have been so incredibly impressed with this plant in the berm. I have 2 of them. Like I said, they're going to get some good size to them. 8 to 10 feet tall, 3 to 5 feet wide. This is the plant that I have in the berm. We planted it in November. The Arctic blast came through at the end of December. I mean, because it is an evergreen, it completely fried the foliage. I mean, I was like, oh man, she's gone, because I lost my loropetalums. Sweet talker was right there in that same area, completely defoliated, and as soon as they lost the leaves, they started pushing out new ones. They are now in the berm every bit of 3 feet tall, 2 feet wide or so. They are gorgeous, and sweet talker will give you beautiful, fragrant flowers in late winter, early spring. It's like one of the very first things to bloom in your garden, and that's why it's called sweet talker, is because it has that lovely fragrance to it. And yeah, so you can use it as a border, you can use it as a hedge, you can use it like I'm using it as a specimen, because I just have them, there's 2 total, but they're pretty far apart. They flank the purple plum tree. So yeah, so think about that. And then Aphrodite. Aphrodite is a sweet shrub. Now, we have one of these in the display gardens we did. We had to dig it up because of the signature garden, but we saved it. And Aphrodite is that sweet shrub. Now, if you're looking at this plant and you look at those leaves, you can probably guess what size plant this is going to be. It is going to be a nice large presence in your garden, 5 to 10 feet tall and wide. So you're gonna have some room for this. Put it in like maybe the back of your bed, the back of your garden, or like if you have it as a centerpiece and you want to have like something tall as a specimen in the center and then plant lower things around it, that would be great. Now, the reason that Aphrodite is so cool is because of those red blooms that is on the tag. Clearly we're not blooming right here in this time of year. I mean, sun to part shade, hardy in zones 5B to 9. So really adaptable. Ours was blooming this year. Beautiful, lovely flowers, and it's going to have that extra large fragrant flowers. They go from start in late spring and then they continue throughout the summer. So it's going to be a really cool one, and you can use it for like cut gardens, like with cut flowers. So that was definitely one that kind of piqued my interest. And for you local folks, we just got some 3 gallons in. So if you are a local person and you want to go check those out, we absolutely have those. Oh, I'm kind of hitting the ones that maybe we don't, well, we can grow, but maybe that are unique to us in the online store. And when I say us, I mean because maybe I don't have them here at the nursery. This is a gorgeous plant. This is a 9 bark. This is summer wine black. But look at the foliage on this plant. Oh dear heavens, it is absolutely stunning. This is going to be hardy in zones 3 to 7. So that's why we have never carried it here at the nursery, is because it's hardy to a zone 7. I'm a 7B. So for me, the odds are of this really working in my garden probably are kind of low, because it does require full sun, which means at least 6 hours. If I give this 6 hours in my North Carolina zone 7B, it could really easily burn it. I could be wrong. Some of you out there in the South in a zone 7 may be like, oh, Jenny, mine's gorgeous. If it is, tell me so I can buy one from the online store and plant it in the garden. But 9 barks are great because they have that beautiful peeling bark, and you get all this beautiful color in it. It is Makes a stylish, dramatic addition to any sunny landscape. It is native, super easy to grow. You really don't need to cut it at all. And this is going to be 5 to 6 feet tall and wide. Obviously, beautiful foliage and nice and compact. So that's a great one. And then we also have the ginger wine. Ginger wine obviously is going to be a very different color, has a little bit more of those those red burgundy ginger colors to it, but basically it's going to be the same type of growing conditions. And 9-barks do put on little clusters of white flowers, so that is a fun addition. Not only do you get beautiful foliage, but you get flowers, and it's still going to be that 5 to 6, zones 3 to 7, 6 hours of sun or more. So my people who are in cooler climates, and you're like, but Jenny, you're in the South and you never have anything for me. Yes, I do. I've got things for zone 3. Hydrangeas. We have got tons of hydrangeas, all of which we have talked about before. We've got pufferfish, we've got tough stuff, we've got quickfire fab, we've got firelight tidbits, we've got oak leaves, we've got tough stuff, rubies and Isabel rubies, little quickfire, you name it, we got them. Tons of hydrangeas, because that is one of Proven Winner's specialties as far as the shrubs go, is the hydrangeas. Now, another one that I was really impressed with in the berm was the honeysuckle. So this is Sensation, and I have again 2 of these in the berm. These, my gosh, y'all, these things are like a beast of a vine. They grow like crazy. Now, for me in 7B, even with the Arctic Blast, mine was an evergreen. So I don't know if that's typical in the colder zones, because it is hardy to zone 4. So I'm not gonna say it's gonna be an evergreen in zone 4. I just don't know that. So if you have one in those cooler climates, let us know if it's an evergreen for you. But definitely a full sun plant. It is that beautiful vine that does, we did have one that's blooming. It obviously went out. Traditional honeysuckle flowers on it, delicious fragrance. I noticed mine that early in the season did not have a fragrance. As the heat hit, it became definitely much more fragrant, and this is going to be, yes, it blooms. It's a continuous bloomer. And the fun thing about it too is after it finishes blooming, it will produce these red berries. So where the flowers were, those then turn into berries, and it's a really cool fall interest look to it as well. The gardenias, whether you want Steady as She Goes or Pillow Talk, let me tell you, both of these have been super popular and have gone out of here for sure. Yes, I'm going to come back to, I have a climbing hydrangea that I'm going to talk about, but I dare say it would be interesting to go back and look at the statistics, but I dare say this was one of the most popular plants that we have sold online thus far. Would you not say? This is Proudberry, and Proudberry is a coral berry. Now, I know that Laura with Garden Answer has this in her gardens, and it is widely popular because, just like the berry poppins, this produces beautiful berries in the wintertime. However, they are a gorgeous shade of pink, like a baby doll pink. My problem with this is that I tend to be too warm. It's hardy in zones 3 to 7. Now, we have had some folks who have ordered it that are in a zone 7 or a 7B. Clearly, they are of my train of thought where they're just going to test it and they're going to go for it, because if it works, it's going to be absolutely stunning. So again, hardy in zones 3 to 7 is going to be a part sun to full sun plant, 3 to 4 tall and wide. Again, it is native. It has that fall fruit. That is a mouthful. Very compact, and of course you can use it as cut flowers, right? With those berries, you can cut them, put them in arrangements. It would be absolutely stunning. And yes, summer flowers give way to super showy pink berries in autumn. Easy to grow, tolerant of a wide range of conditions. So, sweet little plant. This is one that I really wish we could grow, but I'm afraid in our climate it's going to not do well. Now, this is the one I'm really excited about, and this definitely will be getting added to the signature garden because I don't have this. This is Rose Sensation. This is a climbing hydrangea. You know that we have Flirty Girl here at the nursery in 3 gallons, but Rose Sensation is in that same family, right? It's a climbing hydrangea. And really interested because it's going to be hardy in zones 5 to 9. Very adaptable. Climbing hydrangeas, they take a couple of years to get established, but man, when they do, they take off 40 to 50 feet tall. And that's insane. So you're definitely going to want to plant it next to what I'm going to do, the base of a mature tree. Whether that's an oak tree or a poplar tree, whatever kind it is. You might want to be careful on a fence because 40 to 50 feet, obviously it's going to go tall, but if you have it on a fence, it's going to go that long as well. So you definitely want to give it room to grow. 6 to 9 feet wide, supersized blooms, gorgeous summer color. Your climbing hydrangeas are going to be more shady. They won't like filtered sun. If they get full sun, maybe it's morning sun and afternoon shade, this is not going to be a full sun plant. They have a very great relationship with the trees. They don't harm the trees when they grow them. They simply put out little hairs and kind of attach to it, but they're not sucking from the tree. So you're not going to hurt your trees when you put in a climbing hydrangea. We have the butterfly bushes, I know so many of you are so excited, and we can't keep them in stock when we're growing them. We just can't do it. Let me find one. Here we go. The barberries. This is the Sunjoy Neo. Now it's starting to lose a little bit of color simply because we're here in the greenhouse and we have a shade cloth on, so it's not giving as much UV light as it would be if it were outside. Same thing with the orange pillar. So it needs that full sun to be that bright color. Love that. Now the barberries are going to be more petite. They're not going to be crazy tall. They're only going to be, let me find it here, 2.5 tall and wide, hardy in zones 5 to 8. Very 3 seasons of color, very bright colors. I love this plant. Yes, it does have thorns, but it's not nearly as pokey as other barberries. We have other barberries down at the nursery and their thorns are quite aggressive. These are not. So we have those as well. We have the Sunjoy Toto, we have the orange pillar. Lots of different options as far as that. Azaleas, the Perfecto Mundos. I mean, it just keeps going on. And we're going to be getting more. Now, I did not cover all of the shrubs that we have on the website. Feel free to go check that out on our website, gardeningwithcreekside.com, and you will see all those shrubs that we offer there. Perennials and annuals are coming. Don't fret, my pet, they will be here. So what we will do is at the appropriate time, we will do like a pre-sale. So because we've had people ask about that, they like to kind of reserve your plants early because you've got your garden planned out. You will make sure that you're going to get your plants. Absolutely. So we will do a pre-sale of the annuals and the perennials. That way you're guaranteed to get them. And then because that will be a spring shipment, we will send them out according to your growing zone. So my folks who say you're in Texas, I'm looking at you, Texas and Florida, you'll probably get your plants first, where my Maine people, you're going to be a little bit later than Texas getting your plants. But we're going to base it all on your growing zone so that, of course, I don't send you when, a petunia when you still have 6 feet of snow out there on the ground. So just be looking for that. Of course, all the details will be coming your way. But yeah, as always, it's just a very busy, full time around here. We're just hanging on and going for the ride and enjoying it and trying to stay sane around here, y'all. But we so do appreciate you for all your love and support, whether it's, these crazy construction projects or launching a whole new business of e-commerce and selling our plants to you and shipping them out to your door. We greatly appreciate all of your love and support in all the ways that you show that to us. So I hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. We will see y'all in the next video. Bye, friends.